loves, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be doing this simple beginner's makeup tutorial. One of my subscribers actually requested this on my Instagram, and so I was like, you know what, why not? I remember the tips and tricks that I used to do when I was a beginner, and I also give you guys tips and tricks as to how you can make your makeup look better in this video. So I really hope this video helps everyone from beginners to advanced makeup users. And yeah, if you guys want to see how I got this look, then please keep watching. So the first step to any makeup routine is definitely skincare. I've already applied my moisturizer and my lip care off of camera, and I've also exfoliated. Now exfoliation is so good for the skin, you guys. It just gets rid of any dead skin cells, and if you don't exfoliate, you'll notice that your foundation sticks to dry patches. It's just like a preventative measure kind of, and you should actually work it into your routine at least twice a week, just so that your makeup can sit nicely on your face. So in terms of skincare, you definitely want to exfoliate, moisturize, and hydrate your lips. So the first step I'm going to go in and do is my eyebrows, and I like to do this before foundation because if you're a beginner with eyebrows, you can tend to mess up every now and again, so it's easier to clean when you have not put on your foundation just yet. It also allows your skincare to sink in. So yeah, very practical tips, okay? So I'm gonna go in with my Catrice Eyebrow Stylist Pencil in the shade Brown Eyed Peas, and I'm just going to outline my brows. So once we have outlined the brows with a pencil, I'm gonna go in with an eyebrow powder and just fill in the brows. And this is the Essence Eyebrow Powder. I'm just gonna start filling them in, making them darker. And using a pencil beforehand just maps out the shape that you want your eyebrows filled in, if that makes sense. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake because we're going to go ahead and clean that up. Also, you don't want to neglect the front of your brow, so make sure that whatever's on the brush, you just go ahead and just lightly color in the front of your brows. Next, I'm going to be taking a concealer that's my shade. You can go in with your foundation shade, it doesn't really matter. And all I'm going to do is just clean up the top of the brow and just make sure that we have some nice, neat brows. And then I'm just going to go in with a small brush and just blend out this area just so that there are no harsh lines. Next, for foundation, I'm going to go in and prime my face. Now, only prime if you really need to prime. I find that if I don't prime, my foundation settles into the pores on my nose, which drives me insane. So that is why I'm going to be priming. All the products that I'm using will be listed down below in the description bar. I'm just smoothing the primer where I need it. You have to remember that there are different kinds of primers in the market. So if you have oily skin, you'll buy an oily skin primer. If you have pores, you'll buy a pore primer, that kind of thing. So ideally you'll buy a primer that suits what you need from the primer. Hope that makes sense. Next, we're going to go in with foundation, and I will link my how to choose your perfect shade of foundation video down below so you guys can check that out. Any helpful videos that are linked to this video I will link down below, so don't forget to check out those videos. They will be listed in the description bar. Don't forget to check it out. And I'm going to be blending in my foundation with a foundation brush. You can use a cosmetic sponge. You can use a beauty blender. It doesn't really matter. And obviously you will choose the finish that you require, which is, you know, medium, coverage, sheer, whatever the case may be. So I'm just going to apply this all over my face. And you want to start from the center of your face working outwards, because the center of your face is typically where you need most coverage. And also don't forget to take your foundation down on your neck. I just like to take my foundation halfway down my neck. It's just my preference, but you also don't want a line of demarcation on your jawline, so just blend it down. If your ears are noticeably darker than your face, then you just take your foundation on your ears as well. I don't like to do that because I'm OCD about having product in my ear. So yeah. So once you're done with foundation, I went in and concealed my under eye area by just drawing two triangles or like V's under my eyes. And I'm going to go in with a damp beauty blending sponge. You can go in with a brush, you can go in with these same cosmetic wedges. I'm going to be using my beauty blender, and I'm just going to start blending this out. The V shape I find is the most effective shape in terms of not emphasizing this like darkness line right here. And I'm sure you guys are wondering, at which part do you color correct? You only color correct if you need to, and you definitely want to color correct before foundation. Now in terms of concealer, you never want to set your concealer if it's still wet, because it's going to cause the powder to cake up under the eye area and it's not a good look, trust me. So while the under eye concealer is drying, I like to go in and contour my face. So I'm going to be using the Beauty Treats Face Contour Palette. It has a variety of darker shades in this palette, which is fantastic. And for contouring today, I'm going to be using this shade right here. So for today's video, I'm going to be using my Boutique face contour brush. As you can see, if you have a blush brush that is similar in shape to this, then you can definitely use that. So I'm going to dip my powder into the brush and just tap off any excess product, because we don't want to, like, you know, have insanely contoured face. Now in terms of contouring your forehead and your jawline, it's pretty simple, pretty easy, but I'm going to show you guys how to contour your cheekbone. So the first rule is the rule of thumb, where you put your thumb on your ear and corner of your mouth, and then you draw back. This is typically the area that you will contour, this area right here. If you have a prominent cheekbone like I do, you can see exactly where you're supposed to contour. Also, the fishy face really helps. So if you do this, not pout, which is this, but fishy face. So the fishy face just like creates a hollow, which kind of gives you a guide as to where you're supposed to contour. I hope that's making sense. So let's go in and contour. The way I like to contour is just to go back and forth, and also in upward circular motions. Also, what you want to do is you want to stop on the outer corner of your eye, just as a guide as to how far in you need to contour your face, if that makes sense. Next, we're going to go into the forehead, and I like to like push all my baby hairs back and just start dusting this along the hairline. Then you also want to take the bronzer along your temples as well, and kind of connect it to your cheekbone contour. Now, a really nice foolproof method to contouring your face is just drawing a 3 along the sides of your face, which is like this. Now we're going to move on to nose contour, and all you need to do is just squeeze your brush. Just squeeze your brush so that it has a smaller surface area, and then dip back into the powder. Make sure there's no excess, and then just like brush this on the sides of your nose, if that makes sense. Now it's time to go and set the concealed areas, which is under the eye, and this is when I like to go in with powders and just highlight the rest of the face. Now the reason why I would like to stick to powders in terms of highlighting contouring is because it's easier to work with powders than to work with cream products, especially when you're a beginner. So I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, and I'm gonna start by highlighting my under eye area. If you have creases under your eye area, you can just go in with your beauty blender and just like blend out those creases. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set the under eye area. If you want, you can take this highlighting powder right up against your nose if you do have a big nose like I do, and this really helps like slim down the nose. So I'm just gonna highlight under the eye, and I'm also going to set my lids. So now that we've highlighted the under eye area, I'm going to go in the center of the face and also highlight the center of the face as well as the bridge of the nose. Then I'm going to be highlighting my upper lip with powder again, and I'm also highlighting my chin with the same powder. Like I said, it's easier to work with powders than to work with cream products, especially when you're a beginner. So when I was starting off makeup, I always highlighted my face with powder. I never touched these areas with concealer, ever. Now in terms of setting your face, this is particularly when you want to set your face. So I like to take a matte finish powder, and I'm gonna go in with a powder brush and just lightly dust this in the areas where I get shiny. And this also like serves as a medium to kind of blend out any harsh lines, if that makes sense. So lastly, for the face, I'm gonna go in and apply blush. Now you can apply any blush that you like. This is like a baby pink blush. It's very, very, very pretty, and it's just like a light flush of color, which I love. So now we're going to move on to the eyes, and for the eyes I'm going to stick to this face contour palette because I feel like it's going to be easier for you guys to follow with me using this palette than using like a whole bunch of eyeshadows, if that makes sense. So in terms of eyes, I'm going to be using the lightest shade in this palette right here to basically highlight the brow bone and give it some lift. I find that it's also better to highlight the brow bone first because it allows the transition color to blend in seamlessly. So next I'm going to go in with a blending brush, and for blending brushes you guys can use the Essence blending brush or you can use the Kala 311 brush. I honestly prefer the Kala one, and I'm going to go in with the same color that we contoured our face with. Just taking a little bit on our brush, tapping off the excess and then dusting this into the crease. So you want to go in windshield wiper motions all the way from the outer corner to the inner corner of the eye. And what I like to do is just make circular motions on the outer corner of the eye, because what can tend to happen is you can tend to blend color like right down here somewhere, and you want to stop the color towards the end of your eye. So that's a nice way to like prevent yourself from getting too carried away, if that makes sense. And you can also blend upwards in circular motions to just help the color blend into the highlight shade. Also, just so that your lower lash line is not too bare, I'm going to take this same transition shade and just put this on my lower lash line. So for the eyelids, I'm going to be taking this shimmery shade and mixing it with this one to just give us a nice shimmer color for the lid that's not too stark and not too dark. You know what I'm saying? Now, in terms of beginners, you know, you definitely don't want to start jumping into the deep end and putting on lashes because it does take some time to get used to them. So I'm just going to curl my lashes with my UBU eyelash curler, and then I'm going to go in with my Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara and just apply a few lavish coats to my top and bottom eyelashes. Also, make sure that you don't neglect your bottom lashes because it really helps your eyes look bright and awake. Now, if you find that you had a little boo-boo and you have mascara on your eyelid now, you can wait for it to dry and then take your eyeshadow brush and just cover it up with some eyeshadow. Pretty simple, pretty easy. So when I tone down the eyes like this, I like to go in for a nice bright lip. So I'm going to go in with my Wet n Wild Sugar Plum Fairy, and I'm going to line my lips with my LA Girl lip liner in the shade Mauve. I like lining my lips just as a guide as to where I should put my lipstick. So that is it for this simple beginners makeup tutorial. I really hope this video was informative for you guys and has helped you a lot. And if you guys want me to do any more beginner eye makeup tutorials, please comment down below and let me know, and you guys know I will do them. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, like my video, share with all of your friends and all that great stuff, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye! So once I've outlined my brows, I'm gonna be taking my Essence